Hey guys, so I'm Danny Latiege. This is Beauty Manifested. I'm getting ready to wind down for the night. This is a channel for storytelling. It would make sense for you to subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content so that you can get the full story. If you just find this one video, it may not make sense. Like my perspective may not make sense because you're not getting the full story. And so, either way, I'm so happy that you're here. But if you are just tuning in for this one video and you're not subscribed and you don't understand my story, please don't leave any mean comments because, like I said, my perspective may not make sense because you're not getting the full story. And it wouldn't make sense for you to judge me or my content based off this one random video that you find. Anyways, I'm sitting here journaling. It is my late grandfather's birthday today, which is beautiful for me. It's got me feeling kind of introspective, and I was journaling that I hold the belief that life will teach you or life will expose you to everything you need, and you will learn all the lessons that you're supposed to. And you're literally not supposed to know everything. And then, of course, I got to thinking about dating in like the whole world of like femininity content, Sprinkle, and all the other influencers online who talk about like femininity, dating, relationships, etc., etc. I feel like all my videos kind of end up turning towards that, but I'm just a girl, and of course, like I think a lot about relationships because as a feminine woman, as a woman, period, I do feel like that consumes a lot of my mind. And I feel like obviously every woman isn't the same, but the women who resonate with me, I feel like that's perfectly natural. Like there's nothing wrong with being relationship oriented. I feel like that's actually my superpower. I feel like I receive so many blessings through relationships and also so much personal development through relationships. And so, I think that's actually my superpower. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And so, I have also watched a lot of this relationship content, blah, 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 blah. And lately, I've actually cut out most content, period. If I'm consuming content, it's usually me. Like, literally, I'm watching my own videos or it's more educational. Like I'm trying to break into tech right now, so I'll watch like a lot of like career stuff, or I'm studying digital marketing. Like it'll be like educational content more so than just like relationship advice and stuff like that. Or sometimes I'll even watch like vlogs, and those are kind of inspiring to me to just see how people are like living their life versus once again like advice videos. And so, but I'm thinking about when I was deep in my like advice video era. Oh, and I still watch Tony Gaskins from time to time. Anyways, when I was in my advice video era, literally like anytime something would go wrong in like one of the relationships that I had, I would turn to YouTube. Like I'd be like what's I don't anything, like if he wasn't like texting, if I was like liking a guy and I felt like he wasn't communicating that good with me, like he wasn't reaching out and stuff, like I'd be like either how to get him to communicate more. That's how I used to do back in the day. And then once I grew a little bit and I evolved and matured, it'd be like, why doesn't he respond more, or like all just different stuff like this. And I feel like having all of these rules for dating. Oh, I saw a post today on Instagram and it was like, you don't need to have all these boundaries when you feel safe with the person. Literally. Like when you're with someone who just like gets you and you feel safe with them and you feel like you can express yourself and be yourself and you can be as cringe as you need to be and you can be direct and you can be demanding and just like you can just be your authentic self, because I'm not always a soft feminine woman. Like I'm just not. And I don't like having all these rules for my life and how I have to be. Like, I feel like I'm a woman and that's enough. Literally. And I feel like that's so spot on that these people are selling all this relationship advice because women are already so insecure and we're so wanting to be little miss perfect. Like, so many of us want to be perfect, perfect, perfect. And it's like, there's no such thing as perfect. Let that go. There's no such thing as perfect. As long as you're chasing perfect, you're never going to be fulfilled and you're never going to be happy because it literally doesn't exist. Pursue, like always wanting to be better than you were yesterday, beautiful. But trying to be perfect, trying to follow all these rules, trying to feel like if you don't follow all the feminine rules and do all the things, and your relationships are not going to work out. It's like, no, when you're with someone who makes you feel safe, the rules do not matter. And I know, I do feel like the femininity people say that, like, you can't mess it up with your guy. But I just think it goes over a lot of our heads. I don't really know where I'm even going with this message, but I was just thinking about that. Like, I know I have the tendency to get so caught up in perfection and wanting to be perfect and wanting to do things the right way. And if I feel like things like are not going my way, like I definitely tend to freak out. The guy who I'm talking to right now, which is so crazy. I usually say one of my boyfriends, but I'm only talking to this one guy right now. So the guy who I'm talking to right now, if we're even talking, I don't know. But anyways, we were having like a little talk, and he was like, basically, like, I was shutting down. And I felt like I was doing better because normally, if like a conversation isn't going the way that I wanted it to go, or the way I imagined it in my head going, then I usually will leave, honestly. And the femininity content that I had learned supported that reaction, like, just leave. So I would just leave. But then I realized that that wasn't really getting me anywhere. And it wasn't really like making me a more vulnerable person. And so this time we were having a difficult conversation, and he wasn't responding the way that I wanted him to respond. And I understand, like he was saying, he's like, I'm a human with feelings. And like, I understand that he's a human with feelings. But like, in my head, I have the conversation planned out, and I've already thought everything through with his best interest in mind as well as my best interest in mind. And this person specifically really infuriates me because I feel like he never follows the script. Like, in my head, I see it going one way, and then I go and I approach the conversation with him, and he like throws me something totally left field. And I'm like, it really upsets me. And so in the past, I would just leave. I'd be like, you know what, like, F you, bye, I'm out. And then we weren't getting anywhere. So I was like, okay, like, this time I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna actually listen to him. Even though I think what he's saying is totally ridiculous. And he should just agree with me. Duh. Yeah, I was like, okay, let me like sit here and listen out. And then he told me, he was like, I feel like you always shut down when you're not getting what you want. And that's not healthy to be in relationships where the other person feels like they can't say no or you're gonna leave. They can't say no or you hate them now. And I'm like, well, I feel like if you say no, you hate me because I consider everyone when I'm thinking these things through. Like, what I want is best for everybody is how I feel. That's genuinely how I feel. It does, is that right? Does it make sense? I don't know. That's beyond the point. But how I feel is like I really consider other people. I consider what's best for everybody. And so what I want is best for everybody. Like, I'm never gonna really want just like a totally selfish outcome. And so like, I think it's good. So then when the person's not agreeing with that, I'm like, you're being selfish or you're being rude. Like, you're not, like, don't you see all the effort that I put into this? Like, hello, I literally thought everything through. Why can't we just do it my way? And then they're trying to like collaborate, like, oh, well, I feel like this. And I'm like, there's no room for your feelings in this. I've already mapped it out. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But I want to communicate in a more mature way. I want to hear people's side. I want to know how to like collaborate or whatever. But let me tell you, it's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the faint of heart. And so I don't know how I end up on this conversation, but I guess it's just about like acknowledging that you don't control other people and you don't control things, and that like just because one conversation didn't go your way doesn't necessarily mean like I have to totally abandon the relationship. I can maybe just like let it play out and just see. I can trust in the universe that like it's literally always going to work out in my favor. And he was saying that because I was like getting really upset and like irritated at him because he wasn't agreeing with me. And then he was like, everything's going to be fine. You're going to be successful. Like, everything's going to work out with you. Like, he was trying to, like, I guess, get me not upset. And I was like, okay, duh, like I already know that. Like, of course my life is gonna be good. Like, you think that you're like make or breaking my life? Like, no, obviously not. It's just this specific thing. I need you to do this. Duh. And so, but now that I'm reflecting and I'm not angry anymore, I'm thinking like, yeah, like just keep on living your life. This is just one little aspect of your life. I told him how I felt. He disagreed. Life goes on, whatever. I'm moving on. Let me focus on the other areas of my life, and then, I'll circle back to what's going on with this guy, and, maybe he'll come around, and once he's sleeping on it, because now that I'm not in front of him, I've kind of like thought about it a little bit more. So I feel like other people are not thoughtful like me. Like, I feel like I'm thoughtful. Like, I really reflect on my experiences with people because I'm a relationship oriented person. And so I don't know if he's even reflecting. He's probably just like, duh, like, no, like I don't know, watching documentaries or working on whatever he works on, you know? Whereas me, I literally spend my free time brainstorming and thinking of ways to improve the quality of my relationships. And I feel like when people don't acknowledge like the effort that I put into my relationships, like I don't like that. But whatever. Anyways, it would be great if like, okay, so I'm over here and now I'm living my life and I'm doing my thing, and then maybe he's reflecting, and then eventually, I have other things going on, but eventually I'll circle back to him when I'm ovulating or something, and then maybe he'll see my side and he'll come around. But there's no point in me like, boiling over on it and just thinking about it all the time and feeling like it's like the end of the world because he didn't agree with me. Like, maybe he's gonna agree with me later. Like, I might as well just let it play out. There's no rules. It's never that serious. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff. Like, what can you really do? Am I right or am I right? This is a rant. This was a ramble, but I hope you got a little nugget from it. I feel better doing it, and I think that's what matters in this world. Um, Overcoming your fear of being seen and heard, and expressing yourself authentically. Um, oh, I also want to say that in 2024, I am completely giving up all drinking and smoking. I don't smoke a lot now, or even I don't smoke, but sometimes I'll eat like those CBD gummies that you can get at the gas station because they're legal in Texas. But I'm giving those up in 2024 completely. I just want to have like a really clear mind. I told you guys I'm in my focus season. And then I also want to give up drinking because I mean, one, it's just not good for you. I don't like the brain fog. I'm not a big drinker anyways because I drank too much in college and now I'm retired from drinking. So I'm not a big drinker anyways, but I want to like just give it up completely because like it's such a waste of calories and it's such a waste of time because literally I'm such an extrovert and I feel so happy around people and they give me so much energy that there's no reason for me to drink. Like, I have so many times that I don't drink and I go out and I have so much fun that I'm just like, literally, why drink? Ever. Like, not even one. Maybe I'll have a glass of champagne if we're doing a toast. But other than that, I won't be drinking in 2024. And I encourage other people to join in on this. I feel like it's just so good for you. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Be blessed. Stay beautiful. And thank you so much for being here. If you made it this far in the video, I'm so, so, so grateful for you. I'm sending a little prayer to you at the end of this video. I'm praying that it will be an abundant and beautiful year for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. 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 Be blessed.